It's Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast, and this is our special WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 prediction episode. Boom, boom, boom. We decided to skip all the weekly stuff because why even do it? We can break it all down when we do the predictions. We're going to have some fun. Right, Ryan? You excited for the predictions at least? We'll break in if we're excited about Mania or not. Suck it. But
I am. Yeah, it should be. I think WWE will put together a good show. They always do. But right now, it's kind of meh.
They're good. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to. So as always, if you ain't subscribing, subscribe. If you're listening, you're not 5-star rating, 5-star rating, comment. Let's go.
Two dudes with attitudes. Let's go. It's the two dudes and the attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking. So let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton. They here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit. Start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
All right, it's Two Dudes with Attitudes, our special WrestleMania edition prediction show. Thank you all for joining in. And what we're going to do is we're going to do night 1 in order, as they said, and then night 2, and give you predictions that you can take to the bank. So get whatever app you do, or you do betting odds and so on and so on, probably FanDuel, to get a pencil out and a paper and write these predictions down. Are you ready, Ryan?
I am, man. This has been the least WrestleMania feeling WrestleMania in a long time. Feels like the WWE is more excited about all the after show and the roast of WrestleMania and all the after parties and stuff than they are the actual show. But let's get to it, man, because this build has been mediocre to say the least.
And, it's so funny, too, because you're talking about how they're more worried about, the afters and this and that. But yet those things are still tickets galore.
Oh my God.
Have you seen them? Like I told you. So we were going to go originally, obviously. And then you decided not to. It's Easter, kids' birthdays and stuff makes sense. And I was going to go. And I was like, I'm going to roll with my girl. But then I was like, I'm not going to pay even the other, like even to watch the events. It was like $200 at bars in Vegas, the hotel. I'm like, this card isn't even good. And now I don't even know if I'm watching them all live or what I'm going to do. I'm even kind of whatever. I'm just going to watch them this weekend, make TikToks and so on. But I don't have any drive on who, honestly, the minus maybe 2 matches, I can give 2 shits who wins most of these matches. I have no care. But here's my thing, right? So this is a very poorly booked card. It's known, right? Everyone's talking about how poorly booked. So that's what makes me think we're going to get some wild stuff. Like Triple H knows he has to make up. He can't just have a poorly booked card and then poorly resulted. You know what I mean? And nothing happens and it just ends because then people are going to shit all over it. Although I don't even know if he cares or not anymore. I don't.
Yeah, according to him, the internet is just a small subsection of fans, and they don't cater to the internet. So the arena still have 15,000 people. Everyone's cheering their asses off, and that's all he cares about is the people on screen. So that was his words, not mine.
All right. Cool beans. I'm glad he doesn't care. We can get into that later. All right, let's start it off. The match that's probably the most controversial, maybe Gunther versus Jey Uso. The build has been meh. Then it got good, where Gunther beat the snot out of Jimmy Uso and bloodied him up. And then Jey said, I'm not afraid anymore. Like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone, and told Gunther that. And then they followed that up with a individual promos for I don't know what the hell happened on Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was a disaster, but now I'm kind of like meh again. But what do you got, man? I mean, this can go. Honestly, now I think it could go either way. Let's say you.
Yeah, I think this one's really hard. This is probably the hardest match to predict because Gunther can't lose 2 WrestleManias in a row. But I also feel like it's Jey Uso's time to win the WWE World Title so everyone can yeet with him. But I think I'm going to predict Gunther retains. I think Triple H, he says he doesn't listen to the internet, but I do think he also listens to the internet. And I think he's going to realize that maybe Jey Uso should not have won the Royal Rumble and that that was not the right decision. And maybe he's just not quite ready to be the top dog right now. And I think Gunther is. And Gunther can still give us a lot of great matches. And it's always more fun when the babyface chases the title. So with that, I'm going to say Gunther retains.
So this match was put number one for possible two reasons, right? Number one, Jay comes out first. So after they do the national anthem and probably show Donald Trump on TV for 45 minutes, they're going to go into Jay Uso coming out, right? So I think that's why they wanted this open Mania, because they want everyone to start WrestleMania yeeting, right? It's going to get a cool vibe. So you would assume that they also want it to end in yeeting. So at least night one, I think, is going to end possibly disappointing, possibly not. Maybe night two is going to end disappointing. So they want to kind of get the vibe going. That's why we think Jay. But after the backlash, the fans aren't really digging him. I feel like he's about to get Austin Theoried, where they gave him something to get a title shot off of, like the cash in, and then they were like, "Nah, Theory's not ready." I kind of vibe with that, or Baron Corbin, or many before him. I feel like this is the same kind of scenario right now. Can Jay be the champion is what I'm saying. Can Jay hold that title, rock it? Will people turn on him if he does? I think they will. I want to say Gunther, but I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to do opposite of you. I'm going to say Jey Uso wins and we yeet all over the place.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I think he wins is because I think we have other people that need to win it. And I think a la, CM Punk or somebody, that's an easier take from Jay than it is Gunther. So I think Jay wins and has a transitional run, maybe a couple months, and then drop that belt.
That's a fair take. I like that take. And who knows what happens in the main event could have some impact on how Jey Uso, defends the title. So we can get into that next.
We can. All right. Well, next match up. I'm very disappointed. The fact that I feel like Chad Gable's worked his butt off, and the fact that he does not have a WrestleMania match is super disappointing. Our U.S. Women's Champion. We got a list of people who are not wrestling at WrestleMania, although they have triple threat galores. Nonetheless, let's get into it. Rey Mysterio, the biggest mainstream Lucha Libre wrestler of all time, versus the greatest indie Lucha Libre wrestler of all time, El Grande Americano. He's been doing it on the streets forever. Who do you got? Who's going to win this match?
It's El Grande Americano, hands down. There's only one person who can stop El Grande Americano, and it's not Rey Mysterio, it's not Rey Fenix, and it's not Penta. It is none other than the other greatest American luchador that we haven't seen in quite a while. And from everything I've read, he has a history with El Grande Americano from previous interactions, including a moment where he almost snapped his ankle in front of his hometown crowd a year ago or so to win a big title on an episode of television that on a different promotion. And that's none other than El Generico. He is the one who is going to be the one to stop El Grande Americano. That's right. El Generico versus El Grande Americano. That should be the WrestleMania main event, but El Grande Americano is going to beat Rey, and we're going to get to that match later on in the future. Maybe a SummerSlam.
If we get El Generico back, I'm going to lose it. I really want to roll with you here and go with El Grande Americano, but I think we're going to go 0-2. If there's one thing I know Rey Mysterio doesn't do, and that's lay down for absolutely nobody.
That's true.
If you're going to refuse to job to your own blood son twice at a Mania, you ain't losing to El Grande Americano, son. So I got Rey Mysterio winning. Hopefully we do not unmask El Grande Americano and he can move on to a feud with El Generico, which I would love for bigger and better things. Yeah. But yeah, right now I got to say Rey. Rey's a selfish little bastard. So yeah, I got Rey winning.
So back-to-back babyfaces winning. All right.
That's what I got. So we got to start it off hot. Well, here we go. What are we going to do here? War Raiders versus the New Day for the tag team titles. Who do you got? They at least kind of had a little bit on Raw. Well, no, they both had one-on-ones too. That's right. They had one-on-one talks, no face-to-face. Yeah.
I feel like this is the easiest match of all of WrestleMania to predict because the tag team titles on the War Raiders they haven't done anything with them. And the New Day is one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Even without Big E, they were still one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And so I think this is their time to get some of that heat back that they've lost ever since their heel turn. So they're going to beat the War Raiders, and then they need to rub it in the face of Big E, whether on the post show or the next night on Raw or sometime, to say that they never needed him. He was the crutch holding them back, and regarner some of that heat that they've lost. So New Day wins the tag team championships.
Maybe we do have to do a watch along for night one because I'm going the opposite again. And
Okay.
I love me some New Day. I wanted this match to be on Mania. Then they put it on Mania. I want them to win, but I have a feeling with the way it's been booked. Remember, whoever's built the strongest always
That's true.
loses. So I think New Day is going to run their mouths beforehand to Big E. And I think Big E is going to cost them their tag team title to build that heat back up. War Raiders retain. New Day, we're getting 3 for 3 babyface pops to start off night one of WrestleMania. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Too.
I don't like it. That's just what I'm doing. I don't like it. All right, but now we're going to change the tune of my babyface run. We got Jade Cargill versus new villain Naomi. She looks like the Joker. Who do you got?
Now, this has been, of all the poorly booked matches in WrestleManias this year, this has been one of the best built match that WWE has put together for WrestleMania. The other one is a match that's not happening, and that's Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. That match was being booked really, really well and being built really, really well for WrestleMania, and now it's not happening due to KO's neck injury. So shout out to KO. But I'm going Naomi. Naomi's got to win this match. Maybe Bianca turns heel and she comes out and costs Jade the match. I mean, the fans are already booing her somehow, and then maybe later on in the women's match, Jade gives her some payback. But either way, I think Naomi is leaving victorious, and because you didn't turn her heel just to have her lose in one of her first WrestleManias as a singles competitor. So she's got to win. She has to win.
Mm-hmm. I know, poor Jade Cargill. She finally got the push. This is one of the better stories out of the two. I would say this, and honestly, maybe Priest and McIntyre for like actual building of a story. Nothing else that really has stories. What do you mean, bro? Roman Reigns and CM Punk in 1942 had a match between their grandpas, which led to the match adding in Seth Rollins' uncle at the time, who's now his blah blah. So, but I'm gonna go Naomi as well. I want to go Bianca helps, but I don't think so. Naomi's going to cheat somehow, win, and then we're going to see her on night 2, and we'll get back to that. So I got Naomi winning this match. Maybe some kind of shenanigans that we don't know where the shenanigans came from. A masked woman. Maybe something gets left for her. I don't know. Something's going to happen, but I think Naomi wins. Jade just blowing her out doesn't really make any sense. And Jade doesn't need it. Jade can get cheated out here, and I think that where I'm trying to go with it, the story would be better for her to continue on. If she just squashes Naomi, then it's done. Then what do you do with Jade? So
yeah, and there is a faction in NXT, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, that could make an impact. They've rolled with Naomi before, and maybe they come up and they start a new group with Naomi, with Naomi leading it, and their goal is to take out Jade and Bianca or something. I don't know. But something's going to happen to where Naomi cheats to win.
I agree. All right. Let's keep rolling. Ooh, LA Knight. Yeah. Versus Jacob Fatu. There should only be one person winning this match, homie. Who do you got?
I'm actually going to surprise you with my pick.
Oh, God. You're going to pick your long love.
No, I am. I am picking LA Knight to win only because... Not Jacob Fatu deserves to win. Jacob Fatu probably should win. Jacob Fatu needs to hold singles gold. I'm 100% an advocate on that. But I think LA Knight's going to retain because this is where Solo Sikoa is going to cost Jacob Fatu the match. And now we're going to get an evil, angry, frustrated Jacob Fatu going after Solo. And that's how we begin the Solo Jacob feud. It doesn't need a title. It's one of those matches that does not need a belt. It's good on its own. And that's why I think LA Knight retains. Jacob Fatu loses because of some antics from Solo Sikoa.
I want to roll with you there, but I think we're only going to have Naomi to match up with. I'm going to go with one Jacob Fatu, and I think this is going to lead up to something later on that I have a prediction of, but I think Fatu is going to have that belt, and that's going to make somebody jealous. And that's going to kind of continue on with Jacob Fatu finishing up whatever bloodline we have left. LA Knight doesn't need this title. I forget that he has it most of the time. Jacob Fatu, man, I know he's the bad guy, but I'll tell you this much. Him winning, that crowd in Vegas is going to go bonkers.
Yeah.
And I think Fatu just, I mean, the thing is, Fatu doesn't need the belt, but
That's it.
Imagine him with it, man. It's I can see LA Knight winning. I think this is my one that I'm for sure like probably going to get wrong, but I'm going Fatu just because I want it to happen and I'm hoping I can speak it into the universe. So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, LA Knight even has an L next to his head. Look at that. An
Yeah.
L. See that?
I want Jacob Fatu to get the win. I think he deserves it. But I just have this feeling that Solo Sikoa is going to do something. Maybe he inadvertently cost him the title or something, and that's how we continue, sprinkling in the pieces to get to that match. But either way, I don't think Jacob is winning at WrestleMania, especially because LA Knight just won the title back.
Yeah, transitional. He didn't need it. He just wanted just to lose it. Well, maybe not. I don't know. All right. What's next? The match to where if you don't know who they are, you won't even know who they are while they're wrestling because they're going to wear the same exact color outfit, same hair, same heels, same everything. We got the champion, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Woo! And probably the most awkward lead up, if you want to break that down too, that we've had so far. They didn't even communicate on Monday Night Raw because of it. I don't know. Maybe they will on SmackDown. I have no idea. But I mean, I know they're SmackDown people, but still.
Yeah, this build has been atrocious. Even bringing up personal stuff with Kaiser sliding into her DMs of Charlotte Flair, and Tiffany Stratton talking about Charlotte Flair's marriage history being 0-3, just like unnecessary stuff. It was just, if we want to play two sides to every story and look at Triple H, he needs to step up and be a boss and stop letting his talent go out there unscripted and tell them to stick to the script, because if that happened in AEW, we'd be chastising Tony Khan right now for some of these same things. So gotta be fair there. But either way, I think Tiffany Stratton's retaining. I think there's if there's reports, if the reports are true that there's heat on Charlotte Flair for whatever reason for going off script in the promo or just quitting in the middle of that segment a couple weeks ago or whatever the case may be, then you don't need to reward her by winning the title. So I think Tiffany Stratton retains.
So I don't know what's true or not. I don't know if it's all fake. I don't know if it was planned. I don't know, because they even brought it up to Kaiser and then Kaiser didn't answer it and he like kind of brushed it off. I don't appreciate that kind of stuff, like insinuating, because you get people talking and people think it. And my thing is that this isn't the first time Charlotte's done this. She did it with Becky Lynch. She's done it with Sasha. She's done it with everybody, where she goes off cuff because she forgets her lines or whatever it is, or gets flustered. I think she was getting flustered because she was getting booed heavily, like Dirty Dom, and I don't think she likes that because I think she's full of herself. And I don't think Tiffany Stratton was trying to keep up so she didn't get embarrassed again like she did on the other interview. So she kind of went off cuff. But nonetheless, if there's one thing I know, is that when somebody messes with Charlotte, they lose. So I might be wrong on this one, but I'm going to say Charlotte Flair wins and people are peed off. I think Triple H doesn't have cojones like you think he does, and I think he's going to reward her and punish Tiffany for whatever happened. Whatever it was that happened, whoever's fault it was, that's what I'm going. I had Tiffany Stratton the whole way. I said that since day one when it was announced, but after this, I feel like they're going to give it. It showed me because they separated them. So obviously something happened, or you would have had them have a face-to-face. I know other people, most of them had separate interviews about each other, but still, you could have fed up on that heat a little bit. That means there's probably more to it.
Yeah.
Which means the match is going to suck too, because Charlotte Flair's gotten stiff with people before. Remember with Nia Jax, where they were like literally punching each other in the ring? Like, it was awful. I mean,
she's another one that's been left off the WrestleMania card. Nia Jax.
Thanks for carrying the women's division, and now go. Yeah. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Ridiculous. But I see your point. And Charlotte Flair always has to have a title. That's the other thing too. So I could see her winning. I want Tiffany Stratton to retain.
Me too. I hope she wins. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. Yeah,
but you're probably right. Charlotte Flair is probably going to win.
Yeah.
You can't have both Rumble winners lose. And I predicted Gunther to retain, so I do think I'm going to change my prediction and say Charlotte Flair is going to win.
I turned you hopefully to the wrong.
You have.
All right. And the main event everyone's been looking forward to, Seth freaking Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. I had a full plan. I'm glad I didn't post it on TikTok. I was ready to dive into it. Then Monday Night Raw happened, and I was like, "Skirt." So if you don't know what happened on Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins stood tall, laid out both men. He actually double stomped them as well and stood tall with Paul Heyman pissing his pants in the background. Nonetheless, this match is literally pointless. It was for CM Punk to have a main event at WrestleMania. Who do you got?
I'm still going with Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins has to win. Roman Reigns doesn't need another WrestleMania win. CM Punk, I think they're going to book him. He's going to get the Cody Rhodes treatment this year for next year. So Cody Rhodes lost his first WrestleMania main event ever to Roman Reigns, and then he went on a historical run, won the Rumble again the following year, and then won the Night 2 main event of WrestleMania 40 last year. I think CM Punk's going to do the same thing. He's going to lose his first WrestleMania main event and come back and win Night 2 next year, this time for a championship or something in a bigger moment for him. So I think that's what they're doing. And I still think Paul Heyman, the only logical thing that makes sense right now is Paul Heyman turning on both Punk and Roman and aligning himself with Seth Rollins, making Seth a big-time heel in the WWE.
I agree. And that's what I think, because there's no point to have Seth in this match. And I think if we're following trends of WrestleMania booking this year, that's why he was in it, because it's no point. So I'm going to switch after Raw. Here's the thing. Seth stood tall. Nobody ever stands tall and wins at WrestleMania. It is what it is. Sorry to break it to you folks. It's any pay-per-view. Secondly, as soon as Roman put his hands on Paul Heyman, I was like, Punk's winning. That was the key to Roman Reigns is off TV now. He doesn't need Paul Heyman anymore. I think Paul helps CM Punk win. We'll move on with Roman and Seth probably, or maybe even Roman and Punk. But I think Paul's going to join back up with CM Punk, and this is going to lead CM Punk to the world title in a year. I think this was their promise to him when he came in. He got injured last year. I think they're like, we're going to give you a main event. You're going to win the main event, and then you're going to get a title shot in a year, whether you win that or not. And I think Paul Heyman's going to ride with them. I truly do. I think that's what's happening. As soon as Roman put his hands on him, it was like, that's like Paul being like, that's his excuse, right? Like I gave myself to you and you shoved me to the ground. I think that's Yeah,
but does that turn CM Punk heel if that happens? Because it feels like no matter what Punk does, no one's going to boo him.
No, they're not. They can try to turn him heel, but I don't.
But does that turn? Yeah, or does that turn Roman heel?
He's gonna be right, because I truly think it's gonna be him versus Jey Uso moving forward, or at least at some point, or maybe Punk wins before Mania. You know what I mean? He got his main event, so yeah. But either way, I think Punk wins.
That's what
I'm going with.
But I'm standing by Seth, and then when we get into Night 2, I'll go into a little bit more.
Well,
I've got
good thing.
Some juice.
We're in Night 2, baby. Let's go. Let's start off with the wild card. Let's start off with one Randall Orton. Randall K. Orton, is it? I believe.
RKO. Which
Randall
I was
K.
today
Orton.
years old. I learned that just like a few years ago. Like I've been watching wrestling this whole time, and I realized that his name is Randall Keith Orton. But I always thought the RKO was like, KO is a knockout. Yeah. So I never picked up on the fact that it was his initials.
Both.
But I think he's gonna have a match.
He is.
And it's going. I don't want it. Everyone's like talking about Nick Aldis. I don't want it to be Nick Aldis.
Say it. Say who it is. You know who it is. Just say it. Just say it.
I don't. Aleister Black? Is that who? Yeah. Is that?
Oh no! I think it's Solo
No.
Sikoa.
Yeah.
I think 100% they're gonna. I think Randy's gonna squash him. I think it's gonna be like a fun second, third match. He's gonna like come out.
Maybe.
Solo's gonna come out and talk shit, and he's gonna have a match or KO him, or it's gonna be something for Randy. Yeah.
I want him to wrestle Sami Zayn. I think there's a story there that hasn't been told. Sami Zayn is not on WrestleMania. Even though I was talking about El Generico earlier, they're two different people. But Sami Zayn we haven't seen him since Elimination Chamber when KO beat him down in that unsanctioned match. Who came out after the bell rang? It was Randy Orton to beat up KO. Why didn't he come out to help and prevent KO from doing all that damage to Sami Zayn? There's a story there. They could have that match and have a heel Sami Zayn going forward. But yeah, it's probably going to be Solo. I don't want it to be Nick Aldis. I don't really want it to be Aleister Black. I think you're right. It's probably Solo.
Just they don't care about because they're not building a match anyway. Nick Aldis, that's pointless. You got to build that a little
No.
bit. Same thing with Aleister Black because you can't have Aleister Black come and then lose. So it's not going to be like a Miro.
And Randy
you can't have Miro
lose.
come and lose, and Randy can't lose. So he's going to squash Solo, and poor Solo gets to suffer because of Kevin Owens' injury. Yeah. All right, let's get into it now. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. This is the AEW match of the night. Who do you got? Flippity doo.
I really don't care. I'm gonna go Logan Paul.
No build at all.
Yeah, no build. Yeah, I don't care about this at all. I think Karrion Kross is gonna do something to cost AJ Styles this match somehow, some way, because that seems to be the feud that they're not booking for whatever reason. So they're just gonna have Karrion Kross just continue playing mind games on everybody and not put him in any matches. But Logan Paul is gonna win either with or because of Karrion Kross.
I want to go Logan Paul too, but I'm going to keep going against you. I don't know why. I'm going to go AJ Styles. I just feel like we're trying to push AJ here. This is probably his last run. Logan Paul can take the L. He doesn't even wrestle anymore. He's barely even on TV. If he was on a little bit more, maybe. Remember, he was like the champion at one point. US champion?
US
champ. I think, for like a half second. I'm gonna go AJ Styles, even though I think he's gonna lose. Let's just go there. I like your Karrion Kross thing. I think that builds a feud for later on. Yeah. Logan Paul does have a new finisher, so maybe that's the key to his success. All right, the match that nobody thought should happen or would happen. That's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending their tag team titles against the Intercontinental Champion, Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. Fantastic. Who wins?
You said Logan Paul, AJ Styles was the AEW match of the night. This is the AEW match of the night. You have a current champion not defending their championship, but instead going for another set of championships. That is AEW to the T. But
she's not even holding her belt in the picture.
No, she's not. I want Liv and Raquel to win. I really do. But I think WWE is going to put the titles on Lyra and Bayley. I think Lyra, Valkyria, and Bayley are going to win.
Oh, man,
and I'll tell you,
disagreeing again. But go ahead, tell me why.
I'll tell you why. NXT Stand and Deliver. The pre-show is Roxanne and her tag team partner, and the winner gets a fatal 4-way for the number one contendership for the women's tag team titles. Who has Roxanne been feuding with over the last couple weeks, or so we thought?
Bayley and them.
First, so put the titles on Bayley, and now you have Roxanne coming up, and then Liv Morgan and Raquel can go back after singles titles.
All right. I think it's going to be a Judgment Day night, and I'll get to there in a few. I'm going Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. I think we're getting a new Judgment Day. We're out with the old, in with the new, and I think after the IC title match, someone will be leaving and someone will be victorious. So that's where I'm going right now. I'm going Liv and Raquel. Plus, you can't have the finest thing in all of pro wrestling lose on the biggest stage of them all. Sorry. Now, I'm surprised she took the pin to Bayley. She hasn't. That was like her first pin in a long time. I mean, she don't lose.
No.
It's crazy. Crazy. All right. So, the match that no one gives a shit about. Yeah. The match that no one gives a shit about, but they at least built up the best they can. They fought nonstop. Won Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. The Pirate. Who do you got? Who's winning this match between the two guys who look almost exactly alike, sort of?
That's how this whole WrestleMania is. Same, everybody triple threats, and everybody the same, wearing the same clothes and have the same height and the same look. I'm actually gonna go Drew McIntyre. I feel like he needs a win. Priest, he got his moment last year at WrestleMania at the cost of Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre is gonna take out Damian Priest and then work his way back up to the WWE Championship, or do what he said he was gonna do beginning of the year, which was go bloodline hunting, and we start getting him with Roman Reigns, we start getting him and Jey Uso, him and the rest of the OG bloodline, maybe him and Sami again. But either way, in order for him to do that, he's got to beat Damian Priest, and I think that's going to happen at WrestleMania.
It's a Sin City street fight. Ugh. Too bad they can't go to the Strip because they're too far away at Raider Stadium. But since they're going to hit each other with like roulette tables and stuff, aren't they? They're going to have like the stupidest. Like he's going to throw like
dice
cards
in each other's eyes.
Oh my goodness! I can't. Snake eyes. Oh, you lose. I'm gonna go, right into Drew's eye. I'm gonna go Drew McIntyre. The dude's got to win, right? Like, and Priest has been getting the come ups on everything. Got a glass in his eye. He's been beating him down. Drew has to win something. Drew hasn't won since the 1960s. Drew has to win. So I'm going Drew McIntyre. He's got to get a win at some point. The poor guy. Nothing against Priest. It's just Priest can lose and move on with his life.
Yeah, and somebody could always cost Priest. I mean, it is an unsanctioned street fight, so there's interferences galore that could happen. So Drew McIntyre should win and needs to win.
I agree. All right. The only other match I care about. This is it. We got Braun Breaker versus Daddy Dom, Dirty Dom, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Penta, who's in it for some reason, for the IC Championship match. Who do you got? I like how on Raw, like everybody got like play, and Penta was just kind of like there, like just having a random match, and then they were like, "Oh, let's all just come out then and let Penta get in on this." But who do you got?
I'm going Daddy Dom. I think it's his time.
Oh yeah,
he needs to win, and this is why I think LA Knight's retaining on night 1, so Daddy Dom can win on night 2. I don't think both mid-card titles need to be change hands on the back-to-back nights. So I think Daddy Dom wins, and there's Finn Balor finally has enough of the Judgment Day, and I think he's not only is he going to win the title, he's going to pin Finn Balor
100%.
to do so, and that way you protect Braun Breaker. He doesn't have to take a pinfall. Penta doesn't have to take a pinfall, and Finn Balor, who is the king of taking pinfalls, is going to take a pinfall. And then this eventually brings back the Demon character, and we can get Demon Finn versus Daddy Dom for the IC title later on down the year in a babyface run for Finn. But Finn Balor's losing, Dominic Mysterio's winning 100%, and it's well deserved.
The only way this match should be booked is Dom pinning Finn. The end. This has nothing to do with Breaker, Penta, nothing. That's the only. If this match is booked any other way, even if Dom wins and he pins Penta, this match is done wrong. Dom pins Finn. That's the only way this match should be booked. If it's booked otherwise, and Triple H is crazy. Daddy Dom wins. We got gold everywhere in the Judgment Day. Finn gets jealous, and we're going to build on to Finn leaving and Finn versus Dom for the IC title. Jay winning the belt, that leaves the thing open for the world, so people like Braun Breaker will go and challenge for the championship. He doesn't need the IC title. And I think this match is the match of the night 2 at WrestleMania. So I think this steals the show. But Dom is the only way, and I'm going to go on the edge. Once again, I know everyone's saying, but at SmackDown, this is where Black comes in, whether it be Malachi or Aleister Black. He's the new member that Dominic's talking about, and he's the reason why Finn Balor gets pinned by Daddy Dom. I think he helps him win, and Daddy Dom is your new IC champion, and we got a new leader of the Judgment Day. That's where I'm going with it.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's the right decision, and either way, whoever's the leader of the Judgment Day, whatever happens, Dominic Mysterio needs to win because he deserves it, and it's long overdue for him to have singles gold in WWE. He needs to have a long run with the IC title too.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. Like Eddie, lying, cheating, and stealing for sure. All right, let's go into the match that nobody asked for. The women's championship match between Io Sky, the champion, I think, versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. Who you got?
I think Io Sky is going to retain. I feel like they treated her like an afterthought this entire titles run, this entire build up. It's been Rhea versus Bianca. They keep shoving Io Sky out of the way. I think they're underestimating Io Sky. And I think she is going to somehow steal the victory. I don't think she's going to win clean. I think there's going to be shenanigans afoot. But either way, I think she is going to steal the victory away from Bianca or Ripley. And I could see this is where I think Naomi comes back and with her new faction, and they take out Bianca just like they took out Jade, and that's what gives Io Sky the victory. Or I could just see Naomi costing Bianca this match, or I could see Naomi helping Bianca win this match, and we have a heel Bianca. But either way, I think Io Sky is going to retain. Bianca doesn't need the title. Rhea Ripley doesn't need the title. Io Sky is going to retain. That's my prediction.
I'm doing a lot of title changes, and for a reason. Like I said, I think Triple H has to book a big show. It needs to be talked about because this card is so underwhelming, and I think title changes what will get people talking, and that's my theme for this entire card, basically. I think Bianca wins, and I think Naomi helps her. I think whether or not Naomi wins, I think both ways work. If Naomi wins, then she helps Bianca. Ha 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 ha. If she loses and gets squashed, she helps Bianca, and now her and Bianca have a reason to take out Jade even more because she beat Naomi, and now she's the champion. I think this is like a Naomi helps. Bianca pretends like, what? What? Huh?
Yeah.
Like holding her title in shock, wondering why Naomi helped her when it was all just a big master plan. So that's what I got. I got Bianca. They're playing chess, right? Elimination Chamber, taken out, blah, blah, blah. Bianca won. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I could see that. But I just feel like the way the Io Sky's been booked, like, we talk about how you're the last one standing, you're not winning, but she hasn't been the last one standing at all. She's never been the last one standing. And that's what makes me think that she could potentially retain.
Yeah. Well, she wore booty shorts and had her boobs hanging out. So, and even Homeboy was checking her out. Did you see that video where she bent over in front of him and he was like, brr?
Whoa.
Yeah. All right. And then title match that I didn't even know was happening. I forgot. I guess John Cena turned heel. Man, I still am waiting for all my apologies from all those people when I posted my videos about how I was stupid, how this John Cena, that was right when it happened. That was pointless. It was forced. Nothing was going to come of it. And everybody was like, you're an idiot. That was the greatest thing since Hulk Hogan's turn, blah, blah, blah. And what has he done? Yeah. Nothing. Didn't change his look. Didn't change his vibe.
I got the exact same thing after that first promo that he cut, and I made that video saying like that was the worst promo I've ever seen. Everyone was like, "There's always one." It was great. You got to let it cook. He's not giving you what you want. That's why it worked. No, it's been stupid from the very beginning. All of it's been bad, and this build has been atrocious. And
I think the end of this is going to get even worse. Are you ready? Who do you got? I think the end of this is going to be even worse.
This is where I think everything's going to come to a head. John Cena is going to win. I think he's going to win the undisputed title and beat Cody Rhodes. And The Rock is going to make an appearance. Again, we got to have a big moment to close out the show. The Rock's going to make an appearance at the end of the show. Maybe Travis Scott shows up, but John Cena wins because Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman cost Cody Rhodes the match. Seth Rollins is pissed off at Cody for teaming with Roman, doing all that stuff that he was doing. And, Seth Rollins curb stomped CM Punk to allow Cena to get the victory. And therefore, maybe Seth Rollins was in on this plan the entire time at Elimination Chamber. So I think either way, Paul Heyman, Rock, Seth Rollins are going to walk out of WrestleMania Night 2 with the undisputed title. And The Rock still is Paul Heyman's wise man from the last time so that whole thing can be connected as well. So Paul Heyman, Rock, Seth, and Cena walk out at the top to close out WrestleMania Night 2. John Cena is the 17-time WWE champion. People are shocked, but they're also like, oh my God, he just made history.
Yeah. So here's my thing, right? This is the only thing I even like about this. It can go a lot of ways. One, The Rock hasn't been talked about once. So unless he's not going to be there and they're just ignoring him completely and that was pointless, he has to have some kind of an appearance. Stone Cold already stated he's going to be there. Ric Flair has stated he's going to be there. So it goes so many ways, right? Because The Rock there can help John Cena. Or The Rock can be there just to be disappointed in John Cena. Ric Flair can be there because Cena's going to win and he's going to congratulate him. Or he's there as a distraction just to make people think that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So there's so many ways for this to go. And if Stone Cold's there, he's not there to help Cena, right? He's got to be there to help Cody win. So I'm going to go with, I highlighted John Cena to win. I'm going to change it now. I don't think they want to end on that note. And here's the thing. If John Cena wins the title, he only has till the end of the year. He's not going to end his last run as a heel. He's just not going to Batista it. He's going to end on a baby face. I'm going to go with my original gut that this was all pointless. Cody wins with the help of Stone Cold or whoever else. The Rock comes out and basically berates John Cena, goes to beat him down or whatever, and somehow John Cena recovers, beats up Rock. Yeah. And so you leave happy because Cody leaves happy, right? And then we leave even happier after that because Cena lays out The Rock and is a baby face again and laid out the man that everybody hates in the world right now. And that's how we end WrestleMania Night 2 to be heroic. I don't think Cena wins. Cena has to end his run as a And he hasn't even went full heel, so he doesn't have to change much after this. He can keep coming back, and maybe we get. I always said John Cena versus The Rock should be the last match. John Cena's last. I've always said that. I stick to it. I mean, or John Cena and Randy Orton, but it's got to be. So unless we have Randy Orton come out and cost John Cena too, which is another thing that can happen. Randy Orton can come out. Maybe he's not going to wrestle solo. Maybe he comes out and costs, and we get Randy versus John in the future because Randy cost John his match, and then we build Cena up later. But either way, I don't think they're taking it off of Cody. I just don't. I don't see it.
Yeah.
So
all of that just makes everything that happened at Elimination Chamber completely pointless. And that's what I don't like about it. That's why I feel like for that moment to matter and for that everything to happen to make sense, I feel like Cena has to win. But
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what happens for sure. But I feel like this match, I think I'm not even excited about the match. I'm more just excited about the ending of what's going to happen at the end of the match as opposed to the match itself.
Oh, this match is going to be slow and dragging out. It's not going to be anything exciting. And it'll probably go for 45 minutes plus entrances.
Probably a bunch of kickouts and, finisher, kick out, finisher, kick out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a John Cena match to the team.
And it's going to cook. People are going to say it cooked. Do you see how many kickouts they had? That's cooking.
Yeah.
It's cinema. It's cinema. All right. Well, that's our WrestleMania 41 night 1 and night 2 predictions for Two Dudes with Attitudes. We were almost polar opposite on all of them. That should lead for some good times. We might do some watch along. So the only way you can find that out is if you flag us, right? You got to subscribe. You got to put us on those alerts so you can see us pop up to see if we're going to do night 1. For sure, it would be the night 1s. I don't know if I can night 2, but night 1 or NXT Stand and Deliver. We might be doing some watch alongs. So just tune in case, hit those subscribe buttons and follow us. And as always, if you want to check me out, you can check me out at all social media at my_wrestling_opinion, where I'm going to be posting a lot leading up to Mania now. We're about to get like 6 videos out a day moving forward because we got to get this hype up and build it up somehow. It's our Super Bowl, right? And with me as always is
Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. Go follow me on all the social media platforms as well. Go follow us on TikTok at Two Dudes with Attitudes. We're on X at Two Dudes PC. And then subscribe to the YouTube channel, where we were blowing up there for a minute and then we kind of took a break. And so we need to get some momentum back. So go subscribe over there and follow us. And if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, we appreciate all the love and support. Drop us a 5-star rating and review and tell everyone about your favorite two dudes on the internet.
Yes, Two Dudes Wolfpack. We out.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on time to